So you booked your first TV thing,
FBI
the first
Most
audition.
Wanted.
Yes.
FBI Most Wanted, the episode airs this month, so
check it out.
I can't wait to post the reels that I made. I made some super silly reels.
No, you made a reels while you were there?
I literally like threw my costume on and was like, I'm gonna make 2 reels really quick. So I did. I did that for both TV things.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think that it's been interesting because it's been nice to kind of be away from Texas and my family, but I feel like the full responsibility of being a dad with my ADHD and creative brain, like always wanted to be doing stuff, has been really taxing on my like mental health. So I've had to like slow down. And I actually don't think that's a bad thing. It's been kind of nice. And ever since I made that decision, I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this.
Let me see, what have I noticed?
That like, I made the decision to step back and scale down, and we've like been able to pay off some bills and we've been able to like do some things that we weren't able to do. And I don't think there's any coincidence that once I took that pressure off, things could kind of flow a little bit better.
And I know that was a really hard decision for you, so I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. So yeah, I think we're, on the right track.
I think we're on the right path.
It's gonna change again once your show opens. I just don't think we really factor in when you don't have a kid, a schedule change from rehearsals to previews to opening night isn't that big of a deal.
No.
But when you have a kid,
it's just
like
everything
change that happens,
everything rocks the boat.
Routine, because everything is so routine.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you're like, wait, I didn't really factor in that, you working 12-hour shifts was gonna make me fully responsible for all these things.
Right.
And also you need time to rest and get your needs under order or whatever.
Yeah, we were like, I was just running around like a lunatic. I was driving myself crazy, and I think you were probably doing the same thing before you kind of made the decision to kind of scale back.
The analogy I use is I felt like every time Maverick napped or every time I had a window of opportunity for myself, I felt like I was able to like paddle to the surface, but not get to the surface of the water, and I was still drowning. And I just felt like every day I was drowning and sort of getting closer to the surface, but not getting ahead.
Yeah.
And now I feel like, I think that if I was gonna tell somebody like who's an entrepreneur or creative like me, who does multiple things, you need to really factor in the fact that having a kid is a full-time job. And people say that all the time, but you have to think about it like a job, like a business. Like it is a full-time business, especially their first 2 to 3 years. If you really want to spend time with them and you want to raise them yourself, right? There's certainly people who can afford a nanny or who want to have support in that way, which is great, but that's not something we A, could afford, or B, really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So that for us has been very, very interesting coming back to New York. Let's just also talk about New York as a lifestyle, because
the New York just as a lifestyle is exhausting. I talked about stairs, like it's interesting, like stairs. I mean, I've just not been walking up and down stairs like at all.
Yeah, we live in a one-story home.
We live in a one-story home. Obviously, we drive everywhere. All the buildings that I work at in Texas, I do walk up some stairs in one of the buildings, but one flight. It's very casual.
But here you take the stairs to the subway. You take them back up. You take them. You're walking so much.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, so healthy.
It's so good.
But really hard with a baby.
And it's a transition.
And then we were here in the winter, so the cold. We all got sick at one point.
We were sick. I was sick for like 3 weeks.
The buildings, most of the buildings in New York are older, so the apartment building we're living in has no circulation.
Yeah, the efficiency of energy, the energy efficiency, I think it has like a D or an F rating. I mean, and there's a reason why, like you can feel it instantly in here, because like
it's like
it
really
gets
drafty,
too hot, or it's too cold, and it's drafty, and
there's no central air, so there's nothing really sealing. It's crazy.
You're like, oh right, these New York things that you forget about.
Which like you don't really care about unless you've lived in a place where
it's not an issue.
You're like, it's not an issue in Texas in a brand new home.
Yeah.
But then the other thing that probably my biggest frustration with New York is nature. Just trying to find a place where our baby can sit in the grass and just enjoy the outdoors. I mean, it's gonna get better as spring rolls through, but like it's definitely a challenge. And also to find an outdoor space where people aren't smoking a bunch of weed.
The weed smoking is out
in New York
of hand.
I mean, I guess it's not a problem if you love it.
And it's also legal now.
But I don't want to smell it all the time. I literally, yesterday or day before yesterday, I went to get a haircut down the East Village. And there was a girl, she's probably some NYU student, wearing a backpack, listening to headphones, walking down the street and smoking a blunt like it's a cigarette. And I'm like, I understand it's legal, but like, could you imagine walking down the street holding a martini and drinking it while you're just like listening to headphones? That's a good point. I just think that's super strange.
Well, there was also a guy yesterday.
Casual.
We saw a guy yesterday light, or I don't know if you saw it, but a guy lit up a big fat joint when we were like walking with Maverick, and I was like, oh my God, like, yeah.
It's just like
weird. It's different.
Not that different. We're both sober. I don't smoke weed anymore. I used to love to smoke weed. Let's just be honest. But I find it very interesting how casual it is now, because it used to be something you kind of enjoyed at home, and like it was like a casual, like a very relaxing.
It's different. It's definitely I don't understand
and
it.
people are just like smoking it like they're drinking a Coke.
Yeah.
It's super strange, and it reeks everywhere. I mean, there's been times I've gone to wake Maverick up from his room, and because the windows aren't sealed, somebody is smoking a joint outside and comes in. It's insane. New York is different, I think, from when we were here before, but it's also just different for us because we have this little person to take care of. So I find New York's lifestyle to be like, there's conveniences of being social and seeing people, but for I think a baby's early life, I just don't think it's the best situation. If you don't have to, I don't think you should. I would prefer to be somewhere where he can just go into the backyard and we can just let him play safely and not be afraid that he's gonna pick up a cigarette butt or like inhale secondhand weed smoke or whatever. Those are some things that I just find really frustrating. Yeah. But other than that, I'm happy we're here. I don't think we're gonna be in Manhattan forever.
No.
Like, I think we're already plotting where we're gonna go next, like maybe the suburbs. I think we need more space. So stay tuned, we'll find out. But that's our little update on what's happening here in New York City.
Yep.
So make sure you subscribe if you like this video, share it with some friends, let people know that we love to give a little bit of background of what's going on in our lives as the Broadway husbands and our little boy Maverick. More to come.
See you later.